I met, I had this wonderful young man that I had fallen in love with, Ron Southern, and we actually went to high school together. And we've known each other for a long time, and now we're married 57 years. So that's even a record for nowadays, and if you want to look at statistics. But we started out with nothing, and we lived on a paved trailer lot, and he started traveling the world trying to sell his product. He would go to California, he would go to Minnesota, he would go to Europe, he was all over. And so I lived on this little back lot with, and our first daughter was born, Nancy, and we had a run. It was like a chicken wire run. It was like a dog run. And this little kid, and on the lot, there were only 5 people worked. They were all men. And they all had a name like Bob, Dan, Stan, and Lou. And Nancy grew up calling these people by their first name, and she knew them better than she knew her dad in those first few years, and she called him Ron. She didn't call him Dad because he was Ron. He was like one of the guys that came in and out of her life, except these men came out, So there was an opportunity for me living on that lot to learn a lot of things about mechanics that I wouldn't have learned. I learned how to hook on trailers. I learned how to start generators, how to keep generators running. For a young student, you're going to say, this is no opportunity. But it is an opportunity. It's something that's placed in front of you, and you have to learn it. Maybe it's called survival. Maybe it isn't opportunities. But then, because of his business acumen, he started having to go away for maybe 3 weeks, 6 weeks at a time. And he'd phone and he'd say, I'm so lonesome. Could you pack up the children? And we only had 2 daughters then, and fly over and meet me somewhere. Well, maybe I'd meet him in Rome. Maybe I would meet him in Germany. Maybe I'd meet him in Australia. One time met him in Algiers. I think that those are really, truly opportunities. And okay, sometimes I would think, maybe I should just stay home, and I should look after the children here at home. But he was wonderful in the sense, most of the time he'd say, just bring the children. And although my background is teaching school, I took those children out of school so much that if I were a teacher, I would be quite annoyed at that parent that took those children out. And I used to use the excuse, but I am a teacher, and I can take the subjects and I can keep them up to grade. But after traveling a lot, I found out that those children, when they were in Rome, what an opportunity. They could see the Colosseum. They could go into the catacombs. They could see things that they would learn in school later years, but it would be visual to them. They would know what that was.